Don't bother reviving her again. Just let the paperwork run its course. That was my mother's voice, calm, steady, like a weather report. And it came from somewhere close to the foot of my bed. I couldn't open my eyes. My arms wouldn't lift. The ventilator pushed air into my lungs in a rhythm I hadn't asked for, and the room smelled like hospital disinfectant trying hard to cover up. Something older, something chemical that didn't belong in a person's life. My sister's voice cut in, lower. What about the apartment? My mother didn't hesitate. Leave that. Grant signed nothing. I have the directive. My fingers were curled against the sheet. I kept them still. Because if you've ever been trapped in a body that won't listen, you know how quickly movement becomes evidence. Movement becomes permission. And my mother who raised me on rules and punishment and obedience, was about to use a piece of paper to decide whether I stayed alive long enough to become a woman with a future. Welcome back to Broken Stories, where families don't hide secrets forever. They just file them, not in a drawer, in a folder. And then they staple your life to a deadline. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe and join the family. Because this story is one of the wildest ones we've ever told. And it started long before the machines, before the monitors, before my mother decided she'd rather be right than kind. It started with an illness diagnosis, a year ago, 6 months ago, a lifetime ago, honestly. But the part that mattered, the part that became the clock, the part that killed my voice, that happened 3 nights before my birthday. And I didn't know it yet, because my mother had always been good at timing. She was good at later. She was good at for your protection. She was good at making cruelty sound like love. My name is Mary Quint, but everyone called me Maris. Short, soft, safe. Like if we spoke gently and enough, those plans wouldn't be noticed. I'm 34. I had a career, a small apartment. A lease I renewed because I liked the window that faced the quiet street. And I had a husband, Grant, not famous, not wealthy, but steady. The kind of man who remembered your favorite tea without being asked. The kind of man who called me when he said he'd call. Tuesdays, always. No texting. No, I'll get around to it. He'd call like knocking. The phone calls stopped 4 months ago, not because he forgot. Because my mother controlled everything between him and me. Doctors called. My mother answered. Appointments came. My mother arranged them. Mail arrived. My mother sorted it. I used to think she was organized. I used to think she was careful. Then I learned there are 2 kinds of control. The kind you choose because you love someone, and the kind you choose because you want to own the outcome. My mother was the second kind. Her name is Connie Quint, and she was the kind of woman who could smile while she sharpened a knife. The summer I turned 33, I started feeling tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. Not work is exhausting, not I'm stressed. Something under my ribs felt wrong. A pressure that came and went. Then the symptoms worsened fast. 1 month I was jogging. The next month I was dizzy. The next month I couldn't climb the stairs without gripping the banister like I was afraid of falling. The diagnosis came at the end of September. A rare autoimmune flare with complications. The specialist used words like progression and risk. He also used words like timeline. And my mother heard those words the way a predator hears birdsong. She took my hand in the exam room, too tight. Too warm. We'll handle it, she said. We will make sure you're safe. Grant was in the room, sitting forward, eyes worried, mouth pressed like he was holding back questions. He asked if he could talk to the doctor. My mother said later. She said it with that gentle voice she used when she wanted something obeyed. And later never came for him, not the way it should have. The next day, I woke with a new headache. Severe. Then another symptom appeared, odd. My vision blurred. My speech slurred once, and I thought it was fatigue. I thought it was a side effect. I thought I'd get better. Instead, the hospital called. The kind of call that doesn't leave voicemail. They said I needed to be evaluated urgently. They said my condition was worsening. They said Grant should come. Grant should be told everything. Grant should be present. But my mother wasn't letting him. Not after she had me sign something. Not after she had him removed from the conversation. Because once my illness became serious enough, Connie found a way to protect me legally. She told me it was routine. She told me it was required for certain medical decisions. She told me it would simplify the process. She brought paperwork into the kitchen of our family home the way you bring a casserole dish. Warm, familiar, harmless. And she said, "Maris, just sign here." I did because I trusted her, because I believed she loved me, because she sounded so certain. Then she signed something else. And that's when the story became a clock. I didn't know it at the time, not fully. I only knew she was controlling the outcome. And I only knew Grant looked at her like he was trying to figure out where to place his hands. He didn't argue. Grant never argued with my mother directly. He'd just go quiet. He'd ask questions later. But later was how Connie planned. Later was what she used to make people miss the deadline. A month after the paperwork, after the directive, I suffered a neurological episode. Doctors called it unexpected. They called it sudden decline. I don't know what happened. I was unconscious. I only remember the hallway, the hospital smell, the fluorescent lights, and my mother's heels on tile, moving like she was following a schedule. Then nothing, then the ICU, then the ventilator, then the smell of iodine and floor wax and something floral that didn't belong in an ICU, because hospitals aren't supposed to smell like perfume. But Connie always arrived like she was already wearing a memory. When I woke up enough to hear voices, I heard her first. That conversation came from the foot of the bed. "Don't bother reviving her again. Just let the paperwork run its course." My mother's voice, my sister's voice. "What about the apartment? Leave that. Grant signed nothing. I have the directive." My sister, Tess, was quieter, more careful. She tried not to sound scared, but I could hear it in the way she swallowed. And then my mother spoke again, softer now, almost affectionate. "I know you're tired of being the responsible one, Tess. You'll be okay. We will handle the rest." They were talking like I wasn't a person, like I was furniture that could be returned to storage, like I was a container for a decision. The directive my mother had obtained was supposed to guide medical care. But what it actually became, what it became in my mother's hands, was permission. Permission to stop trying, permission to speed up closure, permission to let me die on a schedule. And the schedule had a timestamp, a date tied to something I didn't understand yet, a deadline I wasn't meant to see. The truth is, I didn't know my mother was planning a countdown. I only knew I couldn't move. I only knew I couldn't open my eyes, and in the first hours, I tried everything. I tried to lift my right hand. Nothing. I tried the left. A twitch, maybe. My legs felt distant, heavy, as if they belonged to someone else. Then the voices sharpened into meaning. At first, I heard a nurse say something clinical, then a doctor, older, professional, then my mother's voice again. Not crying, not panicking. Never that. Connie sounded like she was delivering instructions to a delivery driver. "I want the paperwork used exactly as written," she said. "I want compliance." Then a male voice responded carefully. "Mrs. Quint, our protocol requires." Connie cut him off like she'd rehearsed the interruption too. "Protocol is paperwork. Our family has documentation," and when she said family, she sounded like it was a weapon. Because family, in her mouth, meant ownership. It meant you will obey. It meant your life is mine to manage until the deadline. I tried to focus on what I could hear, the clock in my head, the rhythm of the ventilator, in, out, then a sound sound, a small click. Footsteps in the hallway, the shift change, a door opening and closing, then Tess again. "Do we need him?" I didn't know who him was, not at first. Then Connie's voice answered. "Not him. We need her. We need the date." And that word date, it hit my chest like a fist. Because I had always noticed my mother loved dates. Birthdays, anniversaries, deadlines, like time was something she could schedule and harvest. I lay there, sealed inside my body, listening, and for the first time I understood the most terrifying truth about her. She wasn't improvising. She was executing. That's when I started counting, not time, not minutes. I started counting the patterns, the nurse who came first, the nurse who came last, the doctor visits, the shift transitions I couldn't see. So I measured the day by sound, like you do when you're trapped somewhere dark. Day 1 became a loop of disinfectant and silence. Day 2 became the loop of voices behind cracked doors. Day 3 was where the story changed shape. Because on day 3, my mother called for the doctor. But it wasn't the doctor who walked in. It was a man in a suit, gray, calm, a folder under one arm. He looked at my chart, then at Connie, then at Tess, and he said, with the kind of voice that never asks permission, "We need to talk." Directive language. My mother leaned forward. "Yes, now." The man flipped a page. Then he said something that made my heart drop. The directive includes authorization tied to distribution, timing. Distribution, timing, those words. I didn't understand at first. But then he said the number, not a dollar amount, a date, a day and time, a will trust distribution window. And suddenly I remembered something I had told myself not to worry about. Months earlier, when my health was declining, Connie had insisted on reorganizing our family assets. She'd offered to simplify the process. She'd said it was for my protection. She'd said she didn't want lawyers later. She'd said she didn't want confusion. She'd said, "Just sign, Maris." I'd told myself I didn't need to read it. I'd told myself it was routine. I told myself I trusted her. Now in the ICU, with air forcing my chest and my eyes sealed shut, I realized she had tied my medical fate to my financial destiny. Like the paperwork wasn't just about my care. Like it was about who benefited when the deadline hit. My mother's voice rose slightly. "So you confirm the clause still stands?" The man responded carefully. "Legally, yes, but there are procedural constraints." Connie smiled. "Not with warmth, with certainty. Constraints are for people who don't have documentation." Tess spoke next. "Is Grant going to find out?" Connie's answer was instantaneous. "He can't. I removed him from communication. I tried to scream. I tried to move my jaw. But my body wouldn't do it for me. My mother had taken my voice away twice, once through illness, once through paperwork. Because Grant wasn't being told. He wasn't being allowed to advocate. My husband was being used as a bystander in his own life. And I was being used as a countdown variable, a sound, new, a notebook closing, a pen click, a door opening slowly, a nurse walked in. Not my mother's nurse, not the usual staff. This one spoke quietly, like she didn't want to disturb the fear. She adjusted something, checked my vitals. Then she spoke to me, not to my mother, not to Tess, to me. "All right, sweetheart." Her voice was different, lower, unhurried. She said her name, Donna Kowalski, 23 years, nursing. And when she spoke, it didn't sound like Connie's rehearsed authority. It sounded like something else. Someone who had seen too much. Someone who knew how paper doesn't always match truth. Donna touched my wrist. Warm hand, professional movements. Then she did something unusual. She paused. She lifted my left hand like she was checking for response. Her thumb pressed against my knuckle, and my finger twitched. Not big, not dramatic, just a small movement, but she felt it immediately. Her breathing changed. Her shoulders lowered slightly. She didn't gasp. She didn't call for help. She didn't tell my mother. She wrote something down quickly in a notebook she carried tucked in her pocket. Then she leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Can you hear me?" I couldn't answer with sound, but I could answer with whatever my body still owned. I concentrated. I forced movement through whatever neural pathway I could find. My finger twitched again, a flex. Donna's voice turned quiet. Good. She spoke like she was making a decision with the most careful precision. "Can you squeeze once if you're in pain?" My body obeyed. I squeezed. Then she asked almost gently, "Is there someone you want me to call?" My finger squeezed harder, once, twice. "Grant. Is his number in your phone?" I squeezed twice. Then I realized something. My body could answer, not with words, with contact, a language. Donna's face softened, just for a second. Then she went back to clinical mode. She nodded to herself. "Okay," she whispered. "I'm going to find him." And then she added, "But you need to stay still. Don't let anyone know you're conscious. Not my mother. Not Tess. Not anyone who might repeat it back to Connie." I couldn't nod, but I squeezed once deliberately. Donna listened, then she walked out. Her footsteps stayed quiet. But I could feel the world shifting, because somewhere out there, in some hallway I couldn't see, a nurse was deciding to become my witness. Not just a caregiver, a witness. Night 4, Donna returned again at 10. This time, she closed the door all the way. The click sounded too loud in my head. Then she spoke with clarity. No warmth this time, just instructions. She placed her index finger in my palm. "If you can hear me," she said, "squeeze once." I did. Twice for no. I didn't silence. Then she asked, Can you open your eyes? I squeezed once. Then I realized it was wrong. I couldn't open them. My body interpreted pain, movement, maybe awareness, but not seeing. Donna exhaled once, controlled. Okay, she said. We'll work with what you can give me. Then she asked, do you want me to call your husband? I squeezed, hard. And Donna's voice dropped low, almost to a secret. I don't know your stepmom. But whoever told you Grant is overseas. She lied. That word again. Lied. Paper can lie. People can lie. But Donna sounded like someone who had learned the hard way to distrust narratives. Then she added something that made my heart twist. There should be an emergency contact on file from a previous record. I'm going to use the old records. I'm going to call him tomorrow. I squeezed once, not because I understood every legal detail, because I understood the human part. She was coming for him. By morning, I was still sealed in my body, but by morning Donna had called. Not Connie, not Tess, Grant. I heard Donna speak his name on a phone call later because the nurse had moved close to the door. Her voice softened for privacy. But in the ICU, nothing is truly private. Sound leaks through cracks like water through walls. Donna said, Mr. Quint. My name is Donna Kowalski. Your wife is in ICU. She's aware. Grant's voice broke apart. What do you mean she's in ICU? She can't. She's supposed to be stable. Donna paused. Then she said calmly, she's awake. There was silence. Not hospital silence, fear silence. Then Grant said, I'm coming. Donna responded quickly. East entrance. 4th floor. After 10 p.m., come to the stairwell. I'll meet you there. I heard my husband's breath quicken. Then one more sentence. She can hear you, Donna whispered. Go ahead. That night, the air in the room felt different. Not warmer, not safer, just different. Like a door had opened somewhere inside the world. The hallway sounds came closer. Footsteps. A man walking with urgency, but controlled. Like he understood that every second mattered. The door opened. Donna moved aside. Grant came in. He smelled like rain and concrete dust, and that familiar cologne he always bought because it didn't overpower me. He stepped up to my bed. Then he did something so gentle it broke me inside. He held my left hand, wrapped it, stayed. I'm here, Maris, he whispered. I'm not leaving. My finger squeezed once. His face tightened, his eyes wet. Then he asked, what do I do? Donna explained. Not in legal terms first, in human terms. Then in paperwork terms, the directive, the trust will distribution clause, the timeline, the reason my mother wanted me controlled, the reason she had isolated him, the reason she'd been so certain. Grant listened with the kind of silence that isn't empty. It's listening. Then he said, you need a lawyer. Donna didn't hesitate. Tonight, she said, preferably one specializing in trusts and estates. And you call the police. Grant didn't argue. He didn't question. He just nodded like a man who finally understood he had been locked outside of his own life. By morning, Connie arrived with a folder, a courtroom energy in her posture. She didn't look frightened. She looked prepared. She looked like she'd won already. She stood at the foot of my bed and said, I have the directive. Grant's voice was cold. Who told you she couldn't speak? Connie blinked. She looked toward the nurse's station like she thought Donna would be obedient. Donna stood behind Grant, calm witness mode. Then the door opened. A man in a suit stepped in first, dark jacket, authority. Not a doctor, not a nurse, a detective. Connie Quint, he said, under arrest. The air emptied. The room didn't just go quiet, it went hollow. My mother's smile vanished. Tess gasped. A folder hit the side of the desk. Paper didn't make a sound like that unless someone's hands were shaking. Connie tried to speak. Tess tried to speak too. But the detective was already moving through evidence. This is attempted obstruction and fraud tied to medical authorization. This is a will trust timing clause misuse. And this is document manipulation. Grant's face went pale. How? He started. Donna didn't let anyone derail. She pulled out her notebook. Her timestamps, her shift entries, her observations, evidence that said my mother's narrative was false, evidence that matched the directive only in the ways it needed to match, enough to fool a system that assumes paperwork is honest. But now a system was being forced to look at hands, at signatures, at timing, at the gap between what was written and what was true. Within hours, a lawyer arrived with a folder marked with the kind of calm that only exists when someone has prepared in advance. A courtroom lawyer. No theatrics. just structure. He sat with Connie, then with me, then with Grant. He said a sentence that landed like a verdict. The clause tied to distribution timing was executed under invalid circumstances. Invalid fraud. Paperwork designed to bypass you, to bypass your husband, to bypass consent. And when the forensic evaluation returned, when the signature checks revealed mismatched handwriting and altered pages, when the timeline logs confirmed you'd been isolated, the system did what it was built to do. Connie's plan didn't survive contact with evidence. She was arrested, she was charged, and while she stood in handcuffs, she looked at me like she couldn't understand how the clock failed, because in her mind, time belonged to her. In her mind, paperwork belonged to her. In her mind, she could schedule who lived and who died. But time doesn't belong to people like her. Time belongs to paperwork that is honest, and to witnesses who keep notes. By noon on the day, my condition stabilized enough for my body to be evaluated again. A judge signed off on emergency investigations. A court clerk filed documents in a public record, a decision that Connie couldn't control. And that decision, it wasn't just about my health. It was about the trust will distribution. Because the clock in the paperwork had been aimed at a deadline. But the system had been forced to ask one question. If the beneficiary is still alive, is the distribution clause enforceable? If the directive was fraudulently altered, is authorization valid? If a parent used a legal mechanism to weaponize illness, do terms survive? The answer came publicly, through a live stream, not Connie's style. Not her favorite, but the court live stream existed now, and the videos started making rounds. People watched, people commented, not because they understood legal complexity, but because they recognized the emotional cruelty in the story. A daughter, a husband, an ICU, a mother claiming for protection, and then the truth walking slowly out of paper into daylight. The next day, local news picked it up. A headline that made my mother's name look smaller than it deserved. The detective statement, the timestamp details, Donna's notebook excerpt, the signature mismatch evidence. Connie tried to deny it publicly. She tried to frame herself as a concerned parent, but in court, her tone didn't match her paperwork, and in public, her story couldn't survive the images of evidence. Because when people saw the notebook entries with shift times, when they saw the altered directive page, when they saw how the timeline was used to remove Grant from communication, they didn't just think illegal. They thought monstrous. That's the thing about paperwork fraud. It isn't only illegal, it's emotional. It tells the world your love was a lie, and Connie couldn't take it back. At last, I could speak. Not with full clarity, not like I was at home, not like I was fine. My voice sounded like someone cracked open gravel. My throat hurt. But Grant leaned in close enough that I could see his eyes. He whispered, "Talk to me." And I did. "My mother." The words came out rough. Grant's hand squeezed mine. Donna stood by the window, watching, her eyes wet but steady. Then the lawyer spoke gently, like he was trying not to frighten me with the magnitude of what I'd reclaimed. "The trust has been reassessed. The distribution clause is void due to invalid directive execution. Your rights are restored." My mind didn't process at first. Then the detective told me the amount. A trust payout, a settlement, assets protected by terms that my mother thought she controlled. Maris Quint, the beneficiary. The clock had been aimed at me dying before a timestamp, but I hadn't died, and now the clock belonged to the truth instead. A lawyer brought a folder and said, "On behalf of the court, this is what you're entitled to." For the first time in months, I felt something other than fear, not victory, not revenge, something quieter, something like breath returning to a room, something like justice turning into structure. Grant looked at me with raw relief, and I looked at him and realized how close we had come to losing everything, not just money, each other. Then Donna spoke one sentence, quiet enough that only I could hear. "For the record, your vitals were never as flat as they told me." I blinked, my eyes burned, not from illness, from the weight of being believed, because for weeks my mother had treated my body like an object, like a countdown, like the outcome belonged to her. Now the system had documented my survival. Now a nurse had kept evidence, and now I had my life back. Later, after court, After investigation, after the paperwork was finally filed and the case moved forward, I sat on my couch at home. The apartment smelled like me again. Coffee, clean laundry, a familiar blanket. Grant made soup like he was trying to warm my bones back into reality. And Donna came once more, not as a nurse, as a person who knew what it felt like to watch someone's narrative get written without their consent. She didn't want a hug that felt like celebration. She wanted a receipt. So I did something small. I brought her shoes, squeaky ones, the kind nurses like, because they move fast, they don't hurt, and when she laughed, just once, she didn't accept my gratitude like a prize. She accepted it like a job well done, and then she told me, quietly, next time you sign something, read it, not because you don't trust people, because people can lie even when they believe they're right. That night, I sat at my dining table and stared at my own hands. They looked like mine. But I didn't trust them at first. I thought I'd wake up again and discover someone had tried to schedule my death through pages. But no pages controlled me now. I had access to my records. I had a lawyer. I had Grant. I had evidence. And I had something Connie didn't. A future she couldn't manipulate. Public justice wasn't the ending. It was the beginning of reclaiming. Because the more I learned about the paperwork Connie had tried to use, the more I saw how the trust clause had been tied to a distribution window, the more I realized something terrifying. Connie didn't plan only to stop my treatment. She planned to erase my consent. She planned to make my survival irrelevant. That's why the story mattered. Not because I got money back, because I got my voice back, because I got my husband back, because the truth wasn't only discovered, it was documented. And documentation is what turns cruelty into accountability. So if this story stayed with you, drop a comment. Tell me, have you ever had to fight for something that was supposed to be yours? Or maybe you're still waiting for the right moment, the right paperwork, the right evidence, the right person to ask questions when someone tells you to wait. If you know someone who needs to hear this, share the video. There are more stories like this on Calm Drama Stories, and we are just getting started.